Don't you just love the sound of dice hitting the table?
Boy, do I.
Gotta love the dice sound. Get 'em at your local gaming and card shop. Now, enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of This Could Get Weird. I am Adam Stone.
I'm Adam Blosher.
And yeah, this week is going to be a fun week for us. I mean, we were going to have an episode, I guess, of us talking about what we plan on doing later tonight. Last night, we were planning on actually jumping back into the tabletop scene.
Yeah, hell yeah. Doing a game called Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah, the classic edition.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were supposed to do it at midnight last night, and people were just too sleepy.
You.
Yeah. Well, no, you crashed. Elijah was still up, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. I only crashed waiting for you.
Yeah, like by 30 minutes. Yeah, I was an hour off. What happened was, because I got up just before midnight, and the snooze button. But I had turned everything off. That was after the snooze button.
I always tell you, you always hit the snooze
But why
button.
didn't you call? You usually call. You've been fiending for this moment, and I figured you would have called me.
I didn't want to seem like a pester.
You wouldn't have seemed like a pester. That would have helped the situation.
No, but yeah, to me, because I have been bugging you about this all week.
Yeah.
I didn't want to add, icing to the cake of poke, 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 poke.
I had my bag ready and everything. I had all the dice and I had all the sheets that we needed. And books. I had it all. I even had our clipboards, our fancy clipboards. You remember the clipboards?
Fancy clipboards.
And I was ready, rocking, ready to go. I was going to hop out of bed and head on over. And
Snooze button.
snooze button, and you didn't call me. So we're both at fault. Agree to disagree?
Yeah, that's all you.
Oh, come on now. Oh, it's all my fault now, huh?
Well, you never told me you wanted me to call you.
Doesn't matter. I figured you would have pestered me.
I pestered you all week.
Doesn't matter. And I went along with it. I didn't say, leave me alone, you're bothering me once, did I?
I will say you are quite patient with me.
I am. I try. So do we agree to disagree?
Yeah, all right.
I mean, it doesn't matter. That's us shaking hands. It's great radio. But, we're going to do it tonight.
Yeah.
We're doing the game tonight.
Mm-hmm. I'll call you every hour after I leave this place. Make sure you're up.
I got to take a nap after this, though. I got to be mentally focused.
Jedi skills.
Tunnel vision. I'm not like Batman where he can sleep for 2 hours and get 8 hours out of it.
Bitch.
Fuck you. No, but yeah, it's going to be a quote-unquote, give me a retard, a humdinger of a time.
Ooh.
Yeah, fancy. Yeah, that could be the word for the week, humdinger.
There you go, humdinger.
It fits.
That's a good word.
So yeah, for those of you who don't know, Vampire the Masquerade is a tabletop game. You're just like D&D, only a lot more simplified and more story-driven.
And for those that don't know what a tabletop game is, it's basically one person makes a story, and all the players have big old character sheets that have all their information on, and they just roll dice and just try to follow the story that the person in charge has made. A lot of in my experience, a lot of people that are the quote-unquote storytellers turn out to be real dicks.
Well, you usually dealt with DMs, Dungeon Master.
They could still be called storytellers.
Technically, yeah. I mean, if you want to...
We'll just call them the guy in charge.
Yeah.
And whenever they're the dicks, it's when they try to kill everybody that's playing for their own enjoyment.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with those for years until I came into your games. You're like, I don't want to kill everyone. Let's actually do the story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, what a fantastic idea.
Well, that's the way the game is designed.
I know.
It's designed to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes characters die in a story, and sometimes they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And you're an example. Your character died towards the end.
He died fantastically, though.
Yeah, with the 5 botch rule that's been
rule.
initiated from, I don't know, from my previous playthroughs. And yeah, you got the 5 ones. And Vampire is based on a D10 system, 10-sided dice, the cool little diamonds. That's what I call them.
Yeah.
Cool little diamond. Because they look like a diamond. They
Yeah.
are. Are they? Yeah, they are a diamond. And, 1 is bad, 10 is good.
Yeah. And I got 5 bads.
Yeah.
And 5 ones in Vampire the Masquerade for this house rule equals instant death.
Yeah. And I had to get creative with that
Oh,
shit.
yeah. You gotta get creative on a botched death.
Because it was... we told it on a previous one.
Yeah.
With the fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, our second week with new fancy microphone.
It's a pain. Getting
Yeah.
that all set up.
Yeah, we took about
45 minutes.
45 minutes to get this bitch to come on, and finally we got it. And last week, you heard the episode with Barricade. He just plugged it in and boom, done. I'm learning.
Yeah. I would apologize to our listeners. I was not very active last week's podcast. I was too entranced in their stories. Yeah. I was having a good old time just listening to stories.
Yeah, stories of yesteryear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a ton of stories though we didn't even cover, but we can do that another time in another podcast.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Hopefully. But getting back to Vampire, yeah, it's an exciting night, especially for you, because you've been theming for this for how long? How was the last time you played?
Too long ago? Shit. Last year, at least.
No, it wasn't last year. It was maybe 2 years ago.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. It was at the old place. My roommates were involved.
Man, that's way too long.
You've been theming.
Yeah, I have. Fucking tabletop's the beast.
Well, I've been holding off because I'm getting into my writing, and lately I haven't had a chance to ever since the fire. It just kind of died.
Yeah, that's why
I'm hoping what this will do though is get me back into it.
Yeah.
Get my creative, brain popping.
Yeah, that's why I stopped pestering you so much, because you did want to start getting into writing.
Yeah.
And I know you wanted all your creativity to go to that. So I'm like, I'll just let him be for a while.
Yeah. But part of another reason why I'm doing this is because, you're leaving for Texas next month.
Yeah.
And it's like one big hoorah.
Yay.
One way you can do it, because you're not much of a party guy. I'm not much of a party guy.
Elijah's just not much of a party guy.
No, he's done his own partying in his high school days.
Yeah. My ideas of a party is basically just nerd parties. Video games, tabletops.
Yeah.
TV.
Lots of anime.
Hell yeah, anime.
You've been getting back into anime lately, haven't you?
I have. I've been neglecting my video games and going into the anime.
Sometimes you gotta step away from the controller or the keyboard.
Yeah.
It's like last night,
especially this weekend, I haven't really been in any mood to game at all, and that's weird for me.
Yeah. It was like last night, waiting to hear back from y'all. When I woke up, I popped on Netflix and just started binging on the last season of The Office. Because, I didn't watch any of it during its last season, and it's pretty interesting. It had its ups and downs. It had moments where I was like, why are they doing this? And this is kind of dumb, and I don't like this drama here, this drama there. It's between the two main, the big love story between Jim and Pam. There was a lot of stuff where they broke the fourth wall in the episodes in this last season, because it's always been, through that steady cam shot. They didn't acknowledge that it was a documentary until the last season.
Spoiler.
I didn't know you were an Office fan.
I've never watched an episode.
Oh, okay. Well, fine. Are you ever going to watch it?
Not really.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to spoil the hell out of it.
Talking about spoilers.
And if you're listening, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to spoil it for you, too. So,
suck it.
Cut it off for the next 20, 30 minutes. So, yeah.
Snape kills Dumbledore.
Oh! Optimus Prime dies in Transformers 2. What?
Son of a bitch.
Oh, my God. No, Well, it's like there's a scene where they have like a big fight over the phone because Jim's trying to start a company in Philadelphia, and they're in Scranton.
Okay.
And Scranton's like a actual small town in Pennsylvania, and Philadelphia is, it's like 2 or 3 hours away.
All right.
And they're fighting over the phone over something, and she starts crying, and then she, kind of breaks, character, and she looks off camera and says, what am I doing wrong to somebody, and says a name, and then the camera kind of pans over. It's the boom mic operator, and he kind of puts it down. He's like, I don't know, And I was like, oh shit.
Shit got real.
Shit just got real. And he goes to console her. I guess they've been kind of friendly off camera, quote unquote. Then the next episode shows him like a camera just sitting on the ground before production starts, and she apologized to him for getting him in trouble for talking to him because they're not supposed to talk because they're subjects in the documentary. And all that. But it's just little things like that was just kind of annoying me. It's like, all right, this is the last season of a series, and you're gonna throw all this bullshit in the last season, and they're only like 22-minute episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's The Office it's the uncomfortable genre basically of comedy, where it's very uncomfortable comedy to watch.
How so?
Like situational, uncomfortable situations, like just digging themselves into pit holes, like in a way that makes you go, oh, and you cringe at it. You're like, God, no, don't do this, don't do that. It's like the shit they say, is like the main character, Michael Scott, played by freaking name just escaped me.
That one guy.
Yeah, Despicable Me and all that. Damn it. I'm going to cheat.
Don't cheat.
I'm cheating.
Don't do it.
I'm doing it.
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Cheated. I cheated.
By using me.
Yes. Thank you, Google B. Google B. Yeah, and it's like situations like that he'd get into.
Yeah.
Like, perfect example that happened on this season. They had like this super big account because they're a paper company. They actually got the White Pages, which is, like the phone book directory. Yeah. And that was like a super big client.
Yeah.
And it was being run by like an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boss of the company. The reason why she, called like the new owner specifically was to get back at him for firing her. And long story short, they got the account, and main character Andy, played by Ed Helms, he was in Hangover.
Yeah.
He was one who got his tooth knocked out and all that.
Yeah.
He was running the company. He left for 3 months because his family went broke because he came from a family of WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon people. This is elite rich.
Oh, okay.
And apparently, he was calling to turn in like he was gonna like donate some money to his old school, Cornell, which is a big super university, Ivy League, and calls his mom and basically goes broke. She finds out they're broke, and they flee to like Peru or some crap. Like his brother, who's like the star of the family, turns into an alcoholic and hides out in their wine cellar and shit. And he's actually taken over the reins of the family, selling stuff off, signing off on this. And he didn't want to sell the family boat because he always wanted to be captain of it. His dad would always slap his hands, says, "You're not ready, you're not a man," and all this. Cutting to the end of that, he finally, convinces the guy that buys the boat to let him, take it. He was supposed to be him and his girlfriend. His brother was on the boat, passed out in one of the cabins. And he's like, well, I'll take my brother instead of my girlfriend. And breaks her heart and leaves her for 3 months. He's supposed to be the manager of this office. He's supposed to be managing this division.
Yeah.
He disappears for 3 months. Eventually he comes back with a full beard, long hair, and this sunburned, and just looking like a total, beach bum.
Yeah.
And he's acting like, nothing happened, and like he's just running the office. Getting on people for, lollygagging and shit like that. And everybody's like, you've been gone for 3 months. And he wanted to act like a big bad manager, so he pulls up that big sale, the white pages, and the guy who closed it, Dwight, played by Rainn Wilson. He was the professor in Transformers 2. Real smart ass one.
He was
the one that bit the apple, kicked it and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He there's like some discretion he sold it at, like he did an undercut price, kind of as an added bonus, and he's like, I didn't sign off on this. He's like, well, you weren't here.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm gonna take care of this right now. He's like, don't do that, because he's like, because he wanted him to say Coolio. Everything is Coolio, and Dwight wouldn't say it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't fucking Coolio. Because they've been running that office without a manager for 3 months.
Yeah.
And he wasn't going to budge, so he called her up and says, yeah, there's a discretion here and all this. And he's all, it's Coolio. And she's like, and he's like, well, never mind about that. She's like, no, you're going to undercut me? Then I got a clause in my contract that says, I can get out anytime I want. So I'm dropping the account. Click.
Oh.
And he just... It's uncomfortable shit like that in the show. It makes you pull your hair out. You're like, that's so funny, but that's so terrible. Why did you fucking do that? And Steve Carell's character, Michael, was notorious for shit like that.
Mm.
But, there'd be times where he would really surprise the shit out of you. Like when he quit one time, he started his own paper company.
Yeah.
Just down the hall in the same building. And he wound up getting like 2 or 3 big clients that hurt the company Dunder Mifflin that he came from.
Yeah.
And it was genius because they pulled him into a meeting because it was him, Jim's wife Pam, and somebody else. And it was just there was 3 of them running this little paper company.
Yeah.
It was just called Michael Scott Paper Company. And he had these 3 big ass clients. And it really was, like I said, it was hurting them.
Yeah.
And they had no choice but to, negotiate with them. And they told him, it's like, all right, what can we do to make this right? To, basically, we really need these clients. He's like, yeah, you need these clients. All right, on the condition that you hire me back with my original job, original salary, maybe even a raise, and you hire these 2. And I think Pam left with him. Oh, the other guy was BJ Novak's character, Ryan. He had screwed the company over. Because he started out there at the office as an intern. He wound up creating the website. And he got the company in a lot of trouble because he was trying to make the website better than the salesman.
Mm.
And he was doubling numbers.
Gotcha.
Because instead of having them make the sale to the client just go to the website and just, just point, click, add their own numbers and stuff. And he was doubling numbers or something like that. He was basically fraud.
Yeah.
And he got the company in a big mess. And he got him his job back. It was that easy. It's little shit like that he would pull off that, and they fucking did it.
Mm.
And she came back, Pam was the receptionist, and she came back as a salesperson.
Mm.
And so she could make more money and
Yeah.
stuff. It was freaking crazy. It's little things like that in the show where you're like, holy crap, that was amazing. But it's all the shit that leads up to it. It's so freaking uncomfortable. Because, that's where I first heard, that's what she said.
Oh, yeah.
Because that character, Michael, would say that a lot.
I had that back in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I first heard it, was that show.
Mm.
It's an awesome show. But I was a little sad to see it all go, but I was glad to, it was kind of over.
Yeah, shows that drag on for too long just aren't good.
Yeah, it's been 9-10 years that show's been on. And that was based off of a British show, by Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, yeah.
The British version, I've watched a couple of those, and that's where that uncomfortable character came from.
Mm.
Because that character showed up on an episode.
Oh, yeah.
And met Michael, because they're basically the same type of guy. Because it was they mirrored the pilot off of that original series, because it was the same thing with the whole Jim and Pam, but it was 2 different characters.
Mm.
But him always pranking his desk mate,
Yeah.
Dwight and all that. And the pranks, God, all the pranks on that show. You couldn't pull half those pranks off in a real office.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because, like, well, the first one was the, putting, like, a stapler in a Jell-O mold. You know, that's funny and stuff like that. It's like the one time they got back at Andy for getting Dwight fired. Because when Andy, he first showed up, he was from another division that got closed down, Ithaca. It was him and a bunch of other people, and they were trying to vie for positions in the office because they couldn't afford to pay everybody. And he somehow muscled him out, and that pissed Jim off because he was, because Jim, deep down always liked Dwight. He just liked pranking him, though.
Yeah.
Giving him shit. And Andy had this ringtone where he acapella Rockin' Robin, the song,
Yeah.
by himself. He just repeated, he did every part of it on a computer, and that was his ringtone. And Jim had Pam steal his phone, and Jim went off back into the corner where the little kitchenette area was, and went up into the tiles in the ceiling and threw it above the desks. And he sat down, and called it up. And it started ringing. He's all looking everywhere for it, and it stops. He's like, all right, who's got my cell phone? And everybody's just ignoring him, trying to work, because they're like, trying to push through.
Yeah.
And then Pam calls it. He's like, all right, guys, this is not funny. And I think they got somebody else to call it, and he just rages out and punches a hole in the wall. And everybody's all like, oh my God. And after that, they sent his character to like anger management.
Nice.
And I think that was around the time he did The Hangover. Because they had to have her out for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I binged on last night. I've got Office on the brain, obviously. It's a funny show though, but it's like the cringe comedy is what it is. It's the uncomfortable, I think they call it. It's very uncomfortable to watch, but you just can't take your eyes off of it. You got to see where it goes.
Gotcha.
New Mythbusters is on Netflix as well. Score. Because I binged on that and Comic Book Men the other day.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that show because it's based off one of my other favorite podcasts.
Yeah.
Tell 'em Steve Dave. And, the shit that they pull. It's not even half the crap, Because the one thing that they don't have on that show is the Ming voice that Brian does. It's very racist and typical Chinese, like the stereotypical Chinese voice.
Yeah.
My name Ming Chen, I'm number one, and stuff like that. And Brian will do that, and Tell 'em Steve Dave, he won't do it on the show though, which kind of makes me sad, but I can understand why.
Yeah.
Everybody says, God, why is he always? Because like people after that show debuted, why does he always pick on Ming? He doesn't do it to be fucking mean.
Yeah.
Because he honestly says, like, when people do the Ming voice and start giving Ming shit, it pisses him off. He's like, I known this motherfucker for, 10, 15 years. You don't have the right.
Yeah.
And even Ming's all like, yeah.
Well, it's just like, everyone's group has that one person that they pick on, and if anyone else fucks with them, they all basically just gotta defend the person. Like, I'm the fucking person of y'all's group.
Yeah, we give you shit, but we don't, do it out of maliciousness.
Yeah.
We don't do it to be, assholes.
All fun and games.
Yeah. And you can sometimes give it back. Sometimes.
If the stars align right with the moon and all that shit.
If Mars and Venus are just right there, and then all of a sudden the moon turns blood or sackcloth or sackcloth.
I don't know.
That's the way But anyway, you get your digs in every once in a while. It kind of gives everybody pause. Like, holy shit, did that just happen? But, yeah, I binged on that one. And I think Mythbusters might be next. I don't know yet. Because I've missed a lot of Mythbusters.
I've kind of stopped watching after a while because it seemed like they were just doing repetitive stuff.
Yeah. Because it's they fall into a rut of formula,
Yeah.
which it starts out with Adam or any show, but just example, Adam and Jamie, come up with an idea, and then Tori, Carrie, and what's his name? Asian dude. Grant.
Grant. Aha.
Is it Grant?
Yeah, it's Grant.
Okay, yeah. They call them the Misfits.
Mm.
And they usually come up with, a totally, different side of things. Like, they'll play with guns while these guys will play with, brain matter or something like that.
Yeah.
One side's going to get messy, one side's going to, blow shit up. That's the whole point of the episode.
Yeah.
It kind of crisscrosses. And yeah, it goes back and forth on all their projects. And like the first half of it's them setting up a control and then going out to the field and blowing something up or getting really messy. Yeah, I could see how that can be repetitive after a while.
But yeah, I guess the binge watching that I've just been doing is just different seasons of animes that... Because a lot of animes now, they're like maybe 13, 14 episodes long.
Right.
20 minutes an episode. You can go through that real quick.
Mm-hmm. I've been trying to get into that one, Ghost Hunt. Every time I watch it, I'm super tired and I keep passing out. I've watched like the first 2 episodes. I'll take that back. I've seen all the first episode. The second episode I got halfway through and passed out. Mm. But I like that show because it's more based on fact.
Yeah.
And they usually debunk a lot more than they actually prove. At least so far.
Yeah.
The way Elijah described it to me, there's some episodes where there's something truly paranormal going on.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times it's stuff that can be explained away.
Yeah.
And they use a lot of terminology and facts. Like real
world
Winchester
shit.
House, and they do a lot of like real stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Real history. And that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into that one.
How the hell did we jump from tabletop to Netflix?
I don't know, man. That's the rabbit hole we go down.
Speaking of rabbit holes, Pokemon comes out in a week.
Oh, shit, son.
I'm super excited.
I bet you are, man.
Because this one, they're actually introducing customizable characters.
Really?
Yeah. Because before you'd have choice of...
Male or female?
This model of male or this model of female. In this one, you can actually customize clothes and all that shit. It's going to be pretty.
Well, speaking of Pokemon, Lindsey Sterling did the Pokemon theme this week.
Oh, that's awesome.
She did a remix of it. She's
cool.
dressed up as Misty.
Yellow shirt, red overalls. Yep, Misty.
And the other guy's dressed as Ash. I guess he's singing the theme.
No one cares about that guy. Everyone wants the ginger.
She a ginger?
Misty was a ginger.
Oh. Calm down. Settle yourself. Calm yourself. I'm going to get cold water right now. No, yeah, you got to listen to that when you get home. I haven't heard it yet, but I just saw it on YouTube. I was like, ooh.
Mm.
So, I can see you're fired up about tonight.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't know if I'll be able to take a nap or not because I'm super excited.
See, I don't want to get halfway into a game and you just fucking crash.
Oh, I won't, don't worry. The moment we start, I'll be able to stay awake.
Now, do you game better when you're tired?
I become more creative when I'm tired. If that's any consequence.
I become extremely witty.
Alright.
Yeah. My wit just like starts firing off on all cylinders.
Gotcha.
I don't know, I guess I removed my filter a little bit. My filter kind of, or the switch kind of dims.
And I guess for me, the wall that stops all my thinking while I'm awake just kind of goes away.
Yeah.
Because, think inside the box most of the day. Start getting tired, and it's like, hey, look at all these ideas. Let's try all these, see what happens.
Yeah. I was reading on Facebook the other day, I guess. I've just kind of noticed this is a trend, like on Facebook and Twitter, people I follow.
There's always a trend on Facebook and Twitter.
It's like, I guess people, normal people, I guess, when second they get home, they strip down to their skivvies and hang around. It's like, for females, they walk around in underwear, no bra, and maybe a t-shirt.
Okay.
And I hear that, and I'm all like, yeah, of course, my visual, the horny reptile side of me is like, that's fucking hot.
Yes.
And the other side of me is going like, really? Because I'm the type of person, even when I'm, behind closed doors, I come home, I don't like to walk around in my underwear. I've walked around in my underwear since I was like a little kid.
Really?
Walking around in underoos.
I don't see how that's a trend. I do that.
See,
to each his own, though.
yeah, I don't know. I guess ever since I grew up, because I kind of grew up within an environment that I didn't really have a lot of privacy for a long time.
Yeah.
I had to walk around, and some type of, I always wear shorts and a shirt even when I'm, behind closed doors in my private time.
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't let things just kind of blah.
Whereas, when I was in Texas living with my dad as a kid, he would walk around in just his fucking whitey tighties and socks. Oh, such a terrible sight. Because I'd be sitting there on the couch watching my cartoons and all of a sudden, tighty whities. Dad! Don't want to see that!
See, these days I'm not exactly in shape like I used to be.
When I came over the other day to watch Comic Book Man with you, I was just in my PJs.
Yeah.
And that's when I said, fucking no pants this time, because normally when I come over here, I'm in my shirt, pants, shoes, and all that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've seen you walk around in your pajama pants and t-shirt. I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Now, if you walked over, freaking just wearing shorts or skivvies and stuff, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to question your sanity coming into my house like this. Now, if you're going somewhere, I can understand that, but when I'm at home, I don't know. It's just, I'm not that type that just sits around in my underwear.
It's very relaxing.
I suppose I haven't done it since I was a kid.
Drop those pants.
No. Freak.
Go down.
No.
Down.
Don't go Arnold on me now.
Ah.
Next thing you know, you'll be looking at me like I'm a maid. You don't know, you get that? Arnold knocking the maid up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little late on that one. Come on now.
That bitch was ugly.
Yeah, she wasn't the greatest. Everybody was all like, really? I guess, he had a...
She knew how to work it with Arnold.
He was all like, I've got to do a 3. If I go out and do a 10, everybody would know. That's probably how he got away with it.
For so long, yeah.
Yeah, because the guy's like a practical adult now. The kid.
It's crazy.
I know, right? And if you see the guy, you're all like, obvious. Come on now. Because that's probably what gave it away, because he kind of probably grew into it, because he's, he's got like this stout, half Mexican, half German build. He's got, almost the same facial features and all that. And he's, pretty stout looking kid.
Yeah.
Wide shoulders and stuff. It's like, huh. That's one crazy looking Mexican. Actually, he looks more Austrian than he does Mexican. He's got a really good tan. You ever see that, you ever seen anything from that movie Pumping Iron that pretty much discovered Arnold?
No.
It was a documentary in the 70s, back when he was still, bodybuilding and Mr. Olympia. He was before he was acting and all that.
All right.
He had done a movie or two maybe, but they were like cheap, low-budget crap movies.
Yeah.
One of them was like a Hercules in New York. And his Austrian accent was so bad that they had to dub over it. It was weird. Because he had like this weird, straight kind of voice.
Yeah. Still, though, one of my favorite roles of Arnold is fucking in the Batman movies, Mr. Freeze.
Oh my God.
I love it so much. It's so bad.
That made a lot of Bat fans want to slit their wrists. They had, both feet on the stool.
It's amazing.
Noose around the neck. They were like, Jesus God. Because Batman Forever left, pretty bad taste in people's mouth, but they kind of, accepted it. But they went way over the fucking top with Batman and Robin. This Poison Ivy was done wrong. I mean, Uma Thurman's a great actress in her own right, maybe. You know, she was badass as the bride in Kill Bill.
Yeah.
But, or, you know, as Mia Wallace in Pulp Fiction. But, Poison Ivy.
She could have done better in Paycheck, though.
Never saw that one.
Who's that?
That was that was an Affleck movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a joke because that's all it was for him was a paycheck. It did so bad.
Mm.
But her Poison Ivy sucked.
Yeah. I didn't
was,
like how they did Bane either.
Yeah, Bane was way. I mean, he looked cool.
Look cool.
But Bane is not supposed to be a retard.
Yeah. Bane.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be like that. Bane is a wealth. You know, they got it right in
they got
Dark Knight
everything
Rises
right except
for the Venom.
Yeah.
They just didn't have the Venom in the
Yeah.
system. They
That made
basically
me
put
sad.
it into the mask and all that.
That kind of made me sad, though.
He looked pretty
But
big.
to make it realistic, though, it makes
Yeah.
sense. But I'm used to the whole, like, smash that giant fucking button on your hand and, like, Venom is like, raw.
He just starts reading. Yeah, because he usually had it on like a wrist
Yeah.
thing.
It'd just be like a button or
injected.
like a knob or something.
Yeah. And you turn it up.
Yeah.
I mean, they got that part right, but you know, as far as like the criminal mastermind bit of it, they got that right in Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Except he's South American. He's from South America, not from Middle East.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a lucha mask, which pissed people off. Yeah. Because like the original Nightfall story of how Bane beat Batman.
Yeah, you told me
Yeah,
that.
because he showed up or just a quick recap if the listeners don't know. You know, yeah, Bane showed up to Gotham, saw what Batman was. I don't know if I can't remember if he was hired to stop him or something, but he just showed up and saw Batman and as a strategist in him basically said, "I can't beat him. I'm gonna have to make him beat himself." And he broke everybody out of Arkham and Blackgate. And for like 3 or 4 nights, Batman was up straight. Just capturing all these criminals.
Yeah.
In that 3rd, 4th night, he was exhausted. I mean, he was down in the Batcave and like an alarm went off upstairs. And he goes upstairs. I want to say the image is with him without even the cowl. He's got like a beard going, like some hardcore stubble.
Yeah.
He walks upstairs, comes from the clock, and there's Bane. He's like, "What the hell is this?" It's like, "Can't you come back after I've had a nap, motherfucker?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No," because he was just tired. He was beat up. He's been through hell and back, and then he just proceeded to beat Batman's ass.
Yeah.
And broke his back. And then somebody else took over for him, Azrael, I think it was his name. And he was a little more rough-edged.
Didn't take no fucking 8-year vacation.
No. I mean, he was in a wheelchair for a while. They was thought to be paralyzed, and this new guy was just not cutting the mustard. He looked cool. He had his badass armor and shit, and these gauntlets, and he was cutting people up, and I want to say he drew the line when he killed somebody. And this guy was a blonde too. He had like long blonde hair and shit, and it was like, that ain't Batman. Batman's got a haircut. But he could be Bruce Wayne while that guy was being Batman. But it was not his, thing, and eventually, he started to walk again. And he kicked that dude's ass.
Yeah.
And then he kicked Bane's ass.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, he didn't take 8 years off like a little punk. Which, yeah, that always bothered me about that movie. That's gonna bother me. It's haunt me. Because Batman will not take 8 years off. Not go into retirement after the death of a girlfriend. You know how many people's died?
But then again, we can, again, like we said on a few other podcasts, we can talk about Batman for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what do you think of my room? I got some stuff put up so far. I need to get more of my posters up.
Yeah.
Got my cool Dark Knight poster back up.
Hell yeah.
I'm a Captain America shield and a Silent Hill poster. And gift from my friend in Seattle. She drew that.
Yeah.
So I'm off to a good start. I got my blackout curtains finally, which I'm happy about that. It gets pitch dark in here, dude.
Nice.
I might have to tack the sides down if I'm too
now
picky.
You'll never see me come in.
No, I'll hear it.
I'm a ninja.
No. I have silent alarms. I already knew you were going to do that.
Yeah, right.
Scoff at me.
I'll do what I want.
You're going to blink eventually. Uh-huh. It'll happen.
Yep,
it just happened. See, I told you.
Well, yeah, fucking, that's not like future reading right there.
I can see into the future. But getting back to the old tabletop.
How long was our first game?
It was about maybe a couple of months. Because we do it every Tuesday.
Yeah, every Tuesday.
Because it started out at the old place. We did a game there. We started one there and ended it there.
Yeah.
And then when y'all had the new place, we started a new game and ended it there. That's what I'm happy about. Because my old games, I never finished. Because I had a storyteller who made the mistake of getting high beforehand. And evidently, the game ended a long time ago. There was already an end game. He just didn't tell us.
Gotcha.
We just kept going. And that wore us the fuck down. And we're like, so, when's the end come? And he's like, oh, that already passed. What?
He's like, yeah, we did that last year.
Yeah. Because we played for a good 6-7 months. Just kept going. And evidently, yeah, it just ended. I mean, he wasn't like smoking weed before. And it was around the time we had the incident with the vampires in space.
In space.
Because it was weird because like we got to this point in the game. It was like towards, the beginning of it. It was very normal.
Yeah.
Black and white, very set to the game rules.
Yeah.
And I think where it changed is when he started smoking because it got to a point where I told you about that labyrinth.
Yeah.
It took us a couple of days to get past. We were in that. We got to the end of that, and then something happened to where we were doing dice checks for something. He's like, okay, you do. You re-roll. You do. And eventually, it got to the point to where we're waking up in fucking cryo chambers.
Because, who doesn't want vampires in space?
Well, yeah,
I know who you are.
I'll get to that. No, Blood Ocean. Metalocalypse joke for you listening. But, and it was like maybe 100 years later. And the whole time we've been in a cryo sleep. And, it's been all like VR'd into our fucking heads or something.
Oh, Matrix.
The whole experience, yeah.
Gotcha.
And it was just like, fucking what? Well, I did not see that coming. So now here we are in the future.
The future.
Far beyond. We're in the future, and this guy that basically popped us out of the cryo chambers, he threw in a loophole, or not a loophole, but more of a kind of a nod to the whole, because it was around 9/11. It was like after 9/11 happened. It was about 2002, 2003. Yeah, 2002. And he was like, and the guy had his base right there at where the Twin Towers was. And that was his whole reason he knocked him down, because he wanted the spot. It's like, really? What a dick move.
Too soon, man.
Too fucking soon, because he even asked, he kind of stopped. He's like, does anybody mind if I do that? And everybody at the time was like, no. Even now, I'd have been like, okay, whatever, just keep going. But, At one point, we gave chase to this guy. He jumped in this shuttlecraft thing and took off. And we're all like, how many are left there? It was about 2 or 3. Let's jump in. And we take off. And this guy takes off in outer space. And he starts heading towards the moon. And it's like, that's no moon. It's a space station. Moon got blown up a long time ago, and they put the space station up to keep the lunar gravity crap going anyway. We chased him all the way to the moon and then beyond, and it ended at one point we were chasing, and there was dog fights and stuff. It was total Star Trek shit. Or Star Wars, rather. It was like Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica, I think, was popping out around then, the newer series. And that was kind of his inspiration. And it
if I was
ended
doing that part, if I was running that part or something, and y'all tried to fly off into spaceships, I wouldn't let you. You knew how to drive a car, not a fucking spacecraft.
Well, he was very lenient on people that had car driving skills.
That's too fucking lenient.
He just wanted to see it happen, I think.
Probably. But still, I can drive a car, hence, I can outdrive this spacecraft. Same fucking thing.
Well, I think the way he explained it was the controls were very similar to a space or a car, rather than just a craft.
Stick shift?
No, yeah, controls. Had a gas and a brake. I don't know. But yeah, and we ended off at one point where we were giving chase. We got tired and went home, and it was bugging me. I was like, this is getting really bad. And then it just popped into my head. Vampires in space! Like some real cheap B-movie,
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to go that route. It's supposed to be our fucking story. So I, before we started the next session, I'm like, all right, guys, I know you all having fun because one of the guys was into like World War II planes and stuff, the dog fighting aspects and all that, and I like that too. And he was the one doing all the flying and shit. But I was like, I know you guys are having fun with this, but this is getting really cheap and cheesy, and it's turning me off.
It's turning into Saints Row 4.
Yeah. And one of the, rare moments, everybody kind of like, yeah, this is going to get dumb, because they saw it my way. And so that's what we did. We cut it off from there, and it says, all right, we kind of got back on track, but at some point, you know how there's the two sides, there's Camarilla and Sabat.
Yeah.
We go to a meeting. I guess we're working for the Sabat at the time. And turns out that the main leaders for each faction were dragons. You would have loved it.
Oh, I would have.
And it was funny, at one point, my character, Xavier, he made like a really good point in the middle of this big-ass meeting.
Yeah.
And he had the dragon, Nick. Boom! Right on top of my character. So how do you suppose we do this? And I just lost it. I was like, we go kick their ass? I couldn't think of anything at the time. I was getting all smart and shit. And then, when the spotlight's on you, you lose all fucking...
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, I lost it. Damn it.
See, if I'd have found out that, like, the leaders of both organizations are dragons, I'd have started my own quest to capture some dragons.
Oh, they were the only two left.
Yeah, and they're going to be my bitches.
Okay.
I'd have split from
I would like to have seen that. I know at one point, one of the dragons, we were walking along this blood canal. Of course, vampires. Gotta have a blood canal. And one of the dragons shape-shifted into like a giant crocodile around his size, and he's swimming around in it and shit. And it's like, where the fuck is this coming from? Come on now. And yeah, that was part of my first experience with this game.
Fun.
That's where I don't go.
Gotcha.
That's why I do not touch the weed. Taught myself to leave that shit alone.
Yeah.
Do not go near it, because it turns into shit like that.
Yeah.
And you don't want a game that goes off the beaten path.
True.
Because, yeah, you gotta have a start and a finish.
The thing that I liked about it was that our group weren't, like, complete assholes.
No.
Because most of the games I've done, my groups wanted me dead. Because of how I play with loopholes and shit. Basically, how I always end up getting my character an advantage. Because I can loophole through any storyteller's shit.
Yeah.
And so they'd be like, he's getting too strong for the group. We should all team up and kill him instead of, let's use him as the front person because he's strong now.
Yeah, I never really came across that per se, but it was always everybody had an agenda. Like I told you, around that time, everybody was big into ICP.
Yeah.
And everybody had to be a fucking juggalo. And it was like, I'm surrounded by assholes. And it really took the fun out of it for me.
Yeah.
Because here they are, all buffed out, bare-chested, and they got dreadlocks flying everywhere, and they're all painted like fucking clowns. Like demonic clowns. It's black and white, and it's like, get your own fucking niche, guys. Come on, I know you like the music, you're into the group, but you're really ruining this. And I stayed true to my character.
Yeah. My
character wore a nice fucking suit, or, nice clothes.
Yeah.
And just looked proper. And I had a story going one time that they kind of hurt my damn feelings on. Because they all rallied beforehand. And because that was the last time I had done a game ever. Before I met up with y'all.
Yeah.
Because what had happened was I had a long, elaborate story. I think it had a cool place it was going, but they didn't want to go there. So I started the game out. It was like our third weekend. And they're being smart asses going, yawn, doing shit like that.
That's just disrespectful.
It was. I mean, they didn't tell me before I started the game, yeah, we're not getting into this, dude. Let's just move on. They just started being dicks about it. And I was like, alright, fuck you guys. I'm not going to ever fucking play this again. So, it was for a long time until I started playing Vampire with y'all until I picked it back up.
Nice.
Yeah. And I've enjoyed it again.
Hot damn.
But it does take a toll on you, though.
Yeah. Still, one of the best parts of our old story was when Elijah's character, Zex Marquis, was able to take out a fucking sniper with a throwing knife.
I know, wasn't that badass from like 50,
it's like sniper
60 yards.
Shot misses. He somehow triangulates where that fucker was and just tosses a fucking throwing knife casually.
It wasn't even a throwing knife. It was an actual, like, Bowie knife or something.
Yeah, it was his Bowie knife.
He just flung that son of a bitch. Full freaking...
headshot. Dead.
Yeah. Boom. Done.
And we're all like, how the fuck did that happen?
That was the incident where you started the fight between him and Zex, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was a little bit jealous.
Well,
so I tried to do something awesome, too, and that backfired horribly.
Yeah, you created Fireball, pissed off my character and Elijah's character, and they got into a big vampiric rage brawl. They were just out of their minds. And you go running out like, oh god, I don't want to be part of this. And somebody, like one of the characters in the game was the Ravnos. They have this ability called Chemistry. And they basically...
Make illusions.
And all of a sudden, this tank just skids into place in front of and your character just takes off.
Fuck yeah, he does.
Leaving everybody behind.
I was true to my character. He's cool until something big comes towards him. Then he's a bitch.
Yeah. It's like, what's fire going to do against a tank? Well, it turns out like one of the other guys was somehow on the roof, and he went to jump on the tank, and the tank disappeared up beneath his feet. And it was like, oh, it's all an illusion. And meanwhile...
And actually, the funny thing was, I get ambushed after I ran away.
Was it by your clan? Didn't they take
Yeah,
you? Yeah.
By the fucking Tremere clan. Assholes. You had something against me that
I didn't have
fucking
anything
game.
against you.
It seemed
was
like you did.
No, when you give me something to work with like that,
What do you mean? I gave you nothing.
Yeah, you did.
What did I give you?
Your character was super rich, had a big ass house. I said, "Oh, that fits really well with my story. I'm going to use that."
I didn't see that. I did that because the Tremere clan's big on the magic, and I figured if I had a huge mansion, that means I'd have like a big badass library of spell books my guy could go study.
You did.
But I can't fucking get to it without, like, the whole fucking clan wanting to kill me.
Oh, I know you wanted to read all those damn books, but it wasn't going to happen. Not my story.
You're not learning on my watch, damn it.
No, because your library was so vast that,
I would have been happy just reading, like, 1 or 2 books. Learning something cool.
it would have been boring
no.
with your character just sitting on his ass.
I could do it.
Of course you could. It'd be boring. Because I know you wanted to do that, and I wanted to get your character involved.
So you send the clan after me.
Well, that's kind of part of it, though, because the way the Tremere work, they're very tight.
Yeah.
They're a very tight-knit clan.
And apparently they don't give second chances.
No, you fuck up once.
Yeah.
Well, they gave you a lot of chances.
No. They gave me 1. And then I almost died from the group because of that 1. And I'm like, no. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to kill you now. Because that was when they wanted me to inject the gangrel with whatever the fuck was in that vial. And I'm like, done? Where's my reward? Holy shit, my team wants to kill me.
Yeah.
I didn't get a reward. I almost died. There's no happiness on my end. So I'm like, I'm gonna help my team and fuck the clan because they almost got me killed.
Yeah.
And they did not have my back when these fuckers tried to kill me. So, fuck them.
It was nothing against you.
Really?
No, really it wasn't. I'm serious. I had to have different stories for everybody. I mean, your story wasn't the same as Chris G's.
Yeah.
Yours wasn't the same, or his wasn't the same as Elijah's, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It all had to be different, and
It just seemed like mine had a few more speed bumps than the other ones.
no, it was hard to work with Elijah's because he didn't have much of a story. G had a very elaborate story, and F was just there.
He was just, hey guys, Shadow.
Yeah, throw a big shadow cloud right in the middle of a fucking fight. Doing crap like that.
Yeah.
It was annoying. That's all he did. That's why I didn't really do anything with him.
Gotcha.
I could have done a lot more.
But still, just give me one chance to go to the mansion without being ambushed for like one night. But no.
Well, no, what it was...
And it wasn't even a real mansion. It was a fucking illusion at the end. You're
Was
like,
it?
the whole place is in ruins. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. Yeah, because toward the end, right before I died, I went there one more time because of the ritual, like, cauldron stone thing in the basement. There was a dagger that we had to get. Got it. And, like, the moment I grabbed it, the whole illusion of it being a nice mansion just went poof. And, like, yeah, the whole place is in ruins. I'm like,
It wasn't in ruins. It
Yeah,
was
no,
just a
no.
shithole.
no, you said it was in ruins. It was just destroyed. And I've just been walking through an illusion this whole time. Dick. Shake
Oh,
my
well.
fist at you.
Well, all this shit didn't happen to your character until they came into your house. Remember? It was all actually centered around them, so blame the fucking group.
So it's because non-Tremeres walked into my house that they started doing shit.
Yes.
And you didn't tell me this why? I'd have said, fuck them, don't
I figured
come
you would have
around.
figured it out.
I thought the clan wanted to kill me.
Yeah, because you're inviting them onto their turf.
My turf. My house.
Not the way they saw it.
Fuck them.
Yeah. Well, that's how the Dreamers work. That's why nobody likes to fucking play them.
Fireball.
Yeah, that. Fire and vampires don't mix.
I tried making a mix.
It did never happen.
Never ended good.
Never. Especially for you.
I know. Had fun, though.
Yeah.
That's why I think the guy I have for tonight's game is going to be much better. He's less special flashies and more about the combat.
More control.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was good with fighting, but terrible with, like, wiggle fingers for powers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And my guy's got, like, a backstory and all that shit, and hopefully you don't twist that to hurt me, which you probably will.
I probably won't. Because he's an ass of mine,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fuck that up.
Lives in a mountain and all that shit. Lives in, like, a secluded house in the mountain by the city.
Oh, on the Rainier?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This game is going to take place in Seattle.
It always takes place in Seattle. Why? Because Seattle's fucking awesome.
It's a good vampire city.
It's a good city.
Mm.
I like that place.
Mm. It's, rainy a lot, foggy.
Yeah, it's like the perfect weather for me.
Yeah.
Fuck the sun.
It gets maybe 100 degrees 1 week in the summer. Rest of the time it's in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's like, God, I wish. But, plus it's, according to this story, well, I don't want to spoil anything right now for you. And, hopefully next week we'll have an update for you, see how it went. Yeah?
Yeah. Hopefully I'm not dead.
Yeah.
That is my goal for the night. Don't die.
Do not die.
That's the only rule I go by. Do not die.
Stay alive, motherfucker.
Smart.
Yeah, true. So, yeah. I guess that's the lesson of the week. Stay alive, motherfucker.
Stay alive.
All right. Well, yeah, hopefully next week we'll have an update and tell you how the game went. And we'll have another plethora, big word, a plethora of topics.
Fancy.
Just like this week. All right, this week, yeah, that'll do it for this week. For This Could Get Weird, I'm Adam Stone.
I'm Adam Blocher.
Stay weird, everybody.